Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Final Show Films. I'm Sen, your executive producer. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Particularly want to thank our $25 tier supporters over on our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms. Those being Jeremy Alexander, Samantha Bates, and Elle. Without whom we wouldn't be able to do nearly as much as we do now. So thank you very much for your support over the years. And those of you that are listening, that are watching live, please sit back, relax, and enjoy. And we're live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Coyote and Crow Tales from the Mizizibi. I am William, or Shawnee, and I am your story guide for this Coyote and Crow saga. And joining me once again today, we have the Zodiac System.
Hi, I am Julia and Sally of the Zodiac System, and I am playing Waya, the Path of the Coyote Tinkerer.
And Mara.
Hi, I'm Mara. I'm playing Tawa Seekik, who is a Path of the Salmon Seeker.
And Jeremy.
Hi, Jeremy. I'm playing Nadi, who is a Path of the Falcon Seeker.
And Holly.
Hi, I'm Holly. I'm playing Tala. She is a Path of the Falcon Whisper.
And Sen.
I'm Sen, and I'm playing Zen, the Path of the Wolf Warrior.
And as always,
Spirit Man of the Eastern Roads.
yes.
Spearman of
And
the
as
Eastern
always,
Trails.
Eastern Trails, yeah. And as always, Black Lives Matter, trans rights, human rights, eat the rich, believe women.
Make sure
What
you're
month is
registered to vote.
September? Oh yes, registered to vote definitely.
Make sure you're registered
Which
to
month
vote.
is September?
Envy.
We decided it was Envy, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Happy Envy Month. And my thing that I always do for this game in particular, Coyote and Crow is a game that is written by native voices for everyone, but for natives in particular. And this game does not the game. While many of us in this game have native heritage and are using this game to sort of explore that, none of us in this game grew up in native culture or were immersed in that. So the perspectives and the angles and way that we play this game should not be taken as an ideal representation of what this game would look like from a native perspective, or should not represent a native idea or understanding of this setting. So, when last we left off, the group had finally arrived in the village of Haskanatach in the Haudenosaunee Confederation. Having made a difficult journey out there, they had communed with the elder and some of the healers of the village, asking for permission and blessing to delve the nearby inlet to try and find evidence of more of Liv's ship or potential traces of the other stasis pods that might contain the rest of her crew. The elder of the village was willing to acquiesce to this request on one condition, that the Suyata, who are more capable and prepared to deal with dangerous encounters than any of the members of the village, would in exchange deal with a group of Kayazan, or which translates roughly to the purple cancer, who had been assaulting and sort of encroaching closer to the village on a path traveling north, seemingly from somewhere around the Kitawagi Republic's state line. Having hunted down and dealt with the large majority of the Kayazan that they had discovered, and finding that any remainders seem to have been wandering closer to the mountain range and away from the village. The group made their way back to Haskanatach, and that's where we pick up as the group of you return to the village.
Lead the way to the elder's house. Oh, and there's Devin. Be right back.
Yep, what they said.
Yeah, we will.
Yep.
Yep.
You make your way over to the elder's house. You're let back in. All gather around the table, and the elder looks across. I take this to understand that you were successful in your task.
Yeah. We also buried them in a way that they wouldn't leach into the ground or affect any of the wildlife in the area, and definitely shouldn't be able to be eaten.
We appreciate your consideration. If you would, could you mark the location for us so that we may be aware of it, as they sort of like present a map representation of the area?
Of course.
Yeah, by all means. Any way
Yeah.
to keep multiple people safe, of course.
They take down your signpost of where the burial site is, and we will have scouts check by occasionally to make sure that it has not been disturbed.
Okay.
I do also want to have your scouts check the area surrounding the hunting grounds, just in case any additional corruption or more of these Kayazan
Mhm.
crop up.
And if I remember correctly, it was like the first week after that there's like development or something. I might be misremembering something entirely, but
I remember there was a reason why
d-
we wanted to make sure that they kept an eye on the place for a little while.
yeah,
Mhm.
definitely not a one and done look. I would keep a routine look at it just in case anything weird pops up in the area again.
Well, we will have our scouts continue to keep an eye on things. Maybe if something else does come up, then the Haudenosaunee Federation might be given enough incentive to do something about it.
But yes, is there anything else that you would like us to do in order to be granted access to the waters around your fishing area?
We have done enough, and we have made preparations and prepared the land and the environment for your attempted ingress and exploration. You may proceed as soon as you have rest. We offer you lodging and food here for the night so that you may proceed when there is light.
That's appreciated. Might we also speak with whomever of your fishing folk found the obelisk initially?
Yes, I can have the pair of fishers who netted the strange box and brought it up report here in the morning.
Thank you. Very much appreciated. Because they'll be able to give us a general area to start looking in.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, you have an evening to rest, and food is presented, beds are available. Is there anything you guys need to do before you go to sleep?
Yes. So no trees, just no tree climbing whatsoever. To Nani. Just never.
I had completely forgotten about this.
I have
Oh,
not.
I had-
trees. Right.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
No.
what's up with that?
What? I don't climb trees. I don't.
Were there not
It-
trees where you grew up?
No, I grew up
Did you?
in
Cahokia,
yeah.
right? Yeah, there are trees around. Did you just
Yes.
not?
Do you
Why?
not like trees?
I don't have anything against them. I haven't done anything to me.
Okay.
Have you ever felt
just-
the urge to climb one?
Like,
I mean, yes, if I wanted to see, if I wanted to be higher and see something.
Yes, probably in the last fight.
Yes.
But like as a kid, have you
you
ever
do it for fun, like have
Yeah.
races with your cousins or something.
No.
like you hide in a tree for hours until the other
That
kids
too.
can't find you and they just
Mhm.
give up?
That sounds upsetting.
That
I mean,
sounds-
some. Are you okay?
Do you need to talk about that, Tala?
Why do you hide? Why do you hide in trees?
Okay, I
from
did it one
others?
time, all right? I forgot you one time.
Yeah, it's fine. It
Oh,
was
this
fun.
is okay.
It's fun to get the other kids in trouble sometimes.
Wait,
We all had
what?
different childhoods. Continue with yours, please, Naughty.
I mean, like to be fair to Dottie, I didn't climb trees for fun when I was a kid either.
What? What did you
I-
do for fun?
I was kind of too busy trying not to die.
I had a feeling that was going to be their answer.
I didn't have that.
I climbed
Well-
trees for survival.
I mean, I had
Cursed, remember?
us. Fair enough.
Like it sounds like you were a kid. Okay,
Uh-huh.
this is
I don't see why this is so weird and concerning.
According to my family, I was born cursed. So
What did you do for fun when you were a kid, Naughty?
I mean, you know,
You're about to tell us, Reed. Which I'm not gonna like
there's just
shit
this
on.
stare.
because she will just start pulling out the multiple tablets that she has. Like, this is an e-reader, this is a regular tablet, this is specifically for this part of the internet. Like, I can't
mean,
say
yes.
much.
Well, there you go.
No, yeah. But I did climb trees as a kid.
Yeah, I pushed you out of one once.
I know. I remember. My mother loved that broken arm.
Yes, I'm starting to understand why I should be
Wasn't-
climbing trees for fun.
It wasn't broken. It was fine. It was a sprain.
That's not better. I mean, it is better. It's objectively better, but I'm still not seeing the fun.
I think it's the combination of you know, combating the base human fear of heights. I think that's sort of where it comes from.
It's good to listen to your fears sometimes.
Yeah. I don't have a fear of heights. I have a fear of falling. That's rational.
Falling from a high place.
Is that because you were pushed out of a tree?
Yes, it is.
Gosh.
Again,
One
I am failing to understand what you see as fun in climbing trees. Because it sounds like it just gets your arms rained.
I hung out with you when you were healing. It's fine.
it sounds like
because being high up is fun.
it
I
sounds
was a
like
Why?
brat, okay?
It sounds like
'Cause
climbing trees is fun conceptually,
it-
but all of you are having difficulty defining why it's fun.
You can feel the breeze on your face. It's like
There's
the lights.
wind doesn't find its floor at 10 feet above the ground.
No.
I
Just
can feel wind on my face from the ground.
yeah, but it's not like that. It just feels different.
Boy
No,
is
it
gonna turn
doesn't.
to live.
I have
Please tell me
climbed.
you climbed trees as a child.
I have difficult news for you about the density of trees in my homeland.
Not a lot of trees.
Not a lot of trees.
It's a very cold and desolate place. Trees are few and far between.
Fair enough.
I mean, that's a more understandable answer.
I have climbed trees. The wind is not different in the tree.
I do understand the concept of pushing boundaries and moving to dangerous environments in order to get the adrenaline rush and elevation as a sense of fun. I get that. However, climbing trees specifically was not my method of doing it.
What was your method of doing it?
Getting very close to very dangerous situations and not being seen.
Okay.
Why?
Same.
That
Sure.
just
Adrenaline, naughty.
Survival.
It is a sense of being somewhere that you are not supposed to be.
Makes you feel alive.
The sense of defying those who have placed rules upon you.
No, I feel alive because I'm alive, and people who aren't alive are dead. That's how I feel alive.
Yeah, that reasoning never made sense to me either, Naughty.
Okay, can we circle back to Zen curse since childhood?
that's not news.
Kirsten's birth.
She told us that.
Oh, birth.
That's what my family told me, anyways.
Just trying to wrap my mind around it.
I don't think you're cursed. Your figurine brought me so much luck.
Actively cursed.
It's been good so far.
I'm
Yeah,
glad.
nothing horrible's happened to us.
The figurine is
God.
not cursed. I am.
Yeah, but it's of you. If you were okay.
What do you mean nothing horrible has happened to us so far? How many unique and odd spirits have we encountered since we became a team?
It happens.
The Stone Man, the Thing in the Swamp,
Yeah.
the Purple Cancer.
For
Mhm.
Sayada.
Yeah, it's
Most
just in the
Yada
job
don't have
description.
most Yada don't have that kind of quick turnaround on rare spirits.
Some of them do. It depends on where you are and what you do.
One of those three, maybe. All three? No.
Okay, I've read a few books with the chosen one archetype as a main character, and I'm really hoping this sort of bullshit isn't what's about to happen.
I will note, at least as far as I can tell, the Draugr are not necessarily spirits as much as a manifestation of something in the Atanati.
There we go. See?
Which is our connection to spirits. But anyways.
This is all right.
You don't have to believe me. It's just a fact of my life.
Okay, whatever. I'm not arguing this.
I believe you, and if you'd like, I work to find a spirit doctor to help relieve that.
I feel, Shani, I feel like I've definitely like seen a spirit doctor at some point in my life.
I mean, by spirit doctor, we mean someone who specializes in healing spirits.
Yes, soul medicine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his soul in soul medicine. That's not what's required for this particular situation.
Yeah, that's not really. It's not really useful for my part, unfortunately.
Fair enough.
Listen, you got Judge Worthy by a swamp spirit. It can't be that bad
It's got its pros and cons.
in terms of like the long. I don't know.
It's fine if I don't, so long as I don't stay in one place for too long.
On that note, I'm going to go to bed.
This is why he only sleeps at home 2 nights a week.
So,
Long rest time.
you get a rest, you may hit the long rest button.
Woo. Oh wow.
And if your outcome is less than your baseline, you still get your baseline, right?
Yes. If you got less than your baseline because you rolled a bunch of ones and no successes, you still get the minimum you're supposed to get.
I'm at full then. I ignore 1/1 anyways, so.
Jeremy, why do you have a -1 in willpower?
Look, I can't. Dice.
I know.
Fucking dice.
I know.
Want to talk about a curse?
Right?
What a horrible night for a curse. We rest. We rise. Oh, by the way, is this stream sponsored by Sirenscape at all?
Oh, I haven't turned Sirenscape on, but yes, it is.
Oh, it is.
Because I haven't
Because
gotten
I
you
still haven't gotten that
audio.
folder of
Yeah.
music from you.
Yep, I know. Because I can't do anything until the 11th hour. That's what ADHD is.
I also have ADHD, but I typically have the kind that occasionally I'll just hyper-focus on something and be doing nothing but that.
Absolutely. The problem is the things that I hyper-focus on aren't the things that are useful. It's, repeating 2 lines from a Jazz Emu song over and over again until I'm sick of it myself. Or fidgeting with a knife until I accidentally cut myself.
Better than Holly accidentally cutting herself when she's trying to use a knife.
Listen, that happens to a lot of people.
You hold
Yeah.
the sharp end away from yourself.
I know.
Roll your knuckles when you're cutting food.
I know.
Wait, did you go to cut food and leave your fingers out?
Yes, several times.
Oh, a lot. It annoys
But-
Austin.
Listen, when I was
Like this, not like this.
Oh my gosh, I know.
13 or so, I was doing wood carving and I was chiseling this way. And that's how I have this scar here.
That's called practicing seppuku.
Yeah, I've had many issues.
It was too small
with
for seppuku.
my X-Acto knife
Why it's practicing.
and going the wrong direction or cutting something I shouldn't with it, and then there's blood everywhere.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
it happens.
Mhm.
pro tip for everyone watching and everyone on the call. When you're cutting something, the sharp edge goes away from you.
What if it's a plastic knife and you still
Away
manage to
from
cut
you.
yourself?
That's why
That's
the
even
sharp
more
edge goes
impressive.
away from you.
And
I
to
have
give you the
skills.
advice that my chef that I paid money to for culinary school tells me, the best knife advice that he can give is if it starts to hurt, stop cutting.
Mhm.
Fair.
That's good.
What if you can't feel pain?
Then
That you
got
shouldn't be
more-
holding
you've
a
got
knife.
more
Then you
problems.
shouldn't be. Yes.
Then I'm surprised you made it this far.
You
I
cut
mean, like,
away from yourself.
people
It's
with
really easy to
analgesia
put
exist.
your
They just
thumb
have a
on the
very
back of the
hard
knife.
time staying alive at times.
They probably
Anyway,
don't do a lot of cutting.
Yeah.
Or,
long rest.
if James Bond has taught me anything, they do a lot of cutting.
James Bond taught you nothing. I can assure you of that. As a heavy Bond fan, it didn't get a goddamn thing.
Fair. We talked to some fisher folk.
Yeah, so you get up in the morning. I have to pull out my the Chahi name generator because again, this is not a setting where I can just come up with names.
Sure. While you do that, Nani, what kind of books?
Oh no.
So what kind of what?
What kind of book?
Books.
Yeah, I'm not letting this
How
go.
are you still on this
I
conversation?
You
like you
don't
wake up
say.
in the morning and just
Uh-huh.
get up. And you're
That's like
"No."
the first thing out of your mouth.
Uh
Well, out of their hands.
Wonderful.
Out of their hands.
huh.
Yes. Oh, I don't know. Pretty much anything. Anything I could get my hands on. Which honestly was a lot of like manuals and things like that. But, not just that. That's
How
just
to-
most of it.
How to debone a turkey.
Okay.
Read any fiction stories at all?
Occasionally, yeah.
Were those not as entertaining for you?
No.
I mean, I can sort of understand that. I was reading technical magazines and blueprints and all that from a very early age, so I'm not the
They
only
make
nerd
thi-
here.
They make things make sense.
They do. They do, and it helps when I know why things do the things that they do.
Right. Exactly.
If I had a manual like that for people, then
If only.
We're here to dive under some water and look for some wreckage. It just says, apropos of nothing.
the two autistics are being like, man, being autistic sucks. It's like, okay, can we work, please?
The other autistic. Focus?
Never heard of her.
No.
It was
Yeah, no, we can do that, of course.
Yes. Water.
Yeah, so, in the morning, as you guys are getting ready after having this conversation, a pair of individuals approach. One non-binary individual by the name of Lonwy.
I definitely feel a little Lonway, yeah.
And the other a woman by the name of Shanga.
If you drink too much Shanga, you'll feel some long way.
No.
I told
Please
you
make
I'm out
that
of
joke to them.
spoons.
Hi, we were hoping you might be able to show us the location that you found the box.
Yes. At least the general vicinity. We were casting a net around the center of the larger part of the inlet, the one that has direct access to the sea. We can usually get larger fish casting a net there while not having to worry about tide currents. And we snagged something very heavy. And when it took significant effort, and we had to get a machine crank to pull the weight of it. But when it came up, we found the mysterious black box.
And just because we're trying to find similar items, how long ago was that exactly? Do you remember?
More than a moon ago, I think.
Notice changes in the fishing before then?
Not
Or
in
since.
particular.
Okay.
There was a heavy tide current that brought in fish that seemed more difficult to describe, but as if they had seen more. Fish that had unusual amounts of scarring or had particular injuries, or that not anything particularly unusual, just a larger frequency of such things, as if a large quantity of fish that had survived danger had been flushed into the basin.
Okay.
Shawnee, correct me if I'm wrong, but that sounds like maybe the pod crashed further out and this heavy tide brought it in instead of it crashing closer to shore, or is that accurate?
It's certainly possible. We did not have sight of shore before our ship went down. Whether that was simply the strength of the storm we were in, or because we were that far out, I cannot answer. But we did not have land sights.
Although
when our ship was sabotaged.
if the pod was heavy enough that they had to get a mechanical crane, it wouldn't have been able to go
Those
far
don't move
on the
easily.
tides. Yeah, it wouldn't have been able to go far on the tides.
So, Liv, your ship, you described it was over the water. Is how it traveled in the air, far
No, it traveled.
above.
It traveled on the water. It was designed. It was designed to resist Thor's fury and travel the waves. We had simply designed it to weather the storms. It unfortunately was not designed to weather internal sabotage.
Okay. Well, let's get out there and start looking.
Yes.
I'll thank the two fisher folk that have given us information.
They nodded. We can take you out on our fishing boat to the spot where we found the box, if you like.
Honestly, if you just indicate it, we're gonna want to get a bit of familiarity with under the water as we head to that spot. So going above won't necessarily be as helpful.
Very well.
Zen's thinking, if we can get an idea of what under the water is like as we're heading to that spot, we might visually be able to calculate where it's drifted in from, or what direction it drifted in from, depending on what everything looks like.
Very well. It will be a couple of hours to get to the larger bay. Most people fish in the small inlet, but that doesn't typically provide as much of a yield.
Mhm.
So we will occasionally, when there's demand for more, head to the larger bay for more plentiful fishing.
All right. That's ideal actually, because then if we can sort of see how the tides play off the walls of the pool in the smaller bay, we might have an idea of what to look for in the larger one when we get there.
So do you want to head to the smaller bay first then?
What's everyone else think?
The larger base where they found the pot, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trade the larger one then.
Basically, in map terms, most people fish around here. They were fishing over here.
Okay.
Yep.
I was misunderstanding the directions you were giving me. Never mind. Ignore me.
Yeah.
I was thinking we had to go from one to the other, not that it was 2 different locations that we would walk to.
Yeah, no, it's the like most people fish around the smaller section of the bay because it's closer to the village, but because it's more narrow and further inland, it doesn't typically get as much fish as the bay that's closer to the ocean does.
Okay. So yeah, let's just go straight to the big one then.
So it takes a couple of hours, but the fishers they bring their boat with them on a sled, and they lead you down to the bay. They've got nets and fishing materials all piled into the boat so that they can go fishing on a day.
Fair.
And when you arrive, they sort of stand around the edge of the bay and sort of indicate. It was roughly in the center, about where you can see the about midway point between the two rock outcroppings that form slight inlets on the sides. They say as they indicate to 2 points where you can see just a little bit of erosion is sort of curved in the sides of the bay. That is sort of like formed almost like notches in a tree. These sort of like carved out points. Between those 2 points was where we had been fishing when we had discovered the box.
All right. Head down to the water and pull out our gear.
Mhm.
Get our gear ready.
Yep.
Right.
How long do we have? How long do we have underwater with our setup? I've forgotten all of our kit.
Well, our skimmers can go for up to 8 hours on their own.
Okay.
With their battery packs, and then whatever breathing apparatus you have.
So 8 hours.
Yeah.
All right.
She will specify. I do not know how well they will work at great depths. Once you get to a certain point, pressure changes, and I don't know much about water dynamics and all of that.
Oh.
We don't have a deep enough water supply in Cahokia to test that. So
If we need more time, I can go down for another hour beyond that.
If something starts to spring a leak, let us know and head up. Do you want to go ahead and establish the mind link, Nani?
Yeah. Hold on just a second. Dino. I can type words.
And if anything down there is giving you an eye for trouble, let me know and I will come deal with it.
Blaze.
Yeah.
Yep, we're good.
All right. Into the water.
Yes.
Into the frigid cold.
As
of
all
the
of you
Atlantic.
make your preparations for getting into the water, Liv sort of pulls off her cloak, sets it to the side, and like puts her hands together as if focusing, and sort of inhales. And when she exhales, you see her breath sort of frosts on the air, despite it being a perfectly normal temperature around. As as her breathing rate, for anyone paying attention, just seems to drop like a stone. And she takes a deep inhale, grabs her skimmer, and dives into the water.
Important question. Does anything that we're having to do to be down there require primary actions? Or am I sitting on the shore, which I am fine with?
Unless you get into a fight, not really.
Okay.
There you go.
Like typical investigations and just looking around will mostly outside of combat will mostly be secondary.
Okay.
Anything that like if you have to like put significant effort into like moving or hauling something, that might take a primary action that you have to hold off on or get someone else to do. But
Legit, I wasn't sure if any of the. Yeah. Cool.
All right. Down we go.
I think like most of the time when you're in combat, using a skill is a primary action because it's like I want to make a check and do this thing. But outside of combat, when it's just in narrative function, just like investigating, you can keep your link up.
Okay. Dope.
All right. So you all submerge down into the water. Each of you has various methods of handling your breath, whether it's as Liv does, using a gift to enhance how long she can hold her breath and just holding her breath, or if you have air tanks or rebreathers or anything like that, or if you're just holding your breath normally and having to go back up and down every now and then.
I think we all have air supplies because we traveled the river.
What was that?
I'm pretty certain we all have air supplies of some kind because we traveled the river.
Yes.
But the group of you make your way down into the water, and as immediately as you submerge, the water's relatively clear. Normally, there's not anything particularly polluting it, but it is deep, which means that you can only really get so far down visually just looking into it from above. And so as you submerge under it, you are granted the view of just how deep this bay is. For reference, let me pull up the map of the United States and reference that bay so I can actually tell you how deep.
It's also weirdly saltwater. Why?
Because it has a direct link to the ocean.
Yes, I know. Taotsuk is just from inland.
Yeah, it is all
Yeah.
salt water.
Zen will warn, don't drink the water. For those of you that have never been to the coast before, this water is not good for drinking.
Ah.
There's water that's... Whale looks slightly confused.
At the concept of water that you shouldn't drink.
I have heard of this, but it's still different.
That's if I'm reading that map correctly, that point is what we now know as Chesapeake Bay, correct?
Let me take a look.
Yeah, I think so.
So that's 174 foot deep.
Yeah, it's deep.
Average depth is about 20 feet, but the deepest part of it goes down to like 170.
Fun facts, you could, from a scuba diver, you can't stay that long down there. I'm assuming we've got better tech than we do now.
And
Generally,
yes,
yeah.
That is Chesapeake Bay.
Because that's, yeah.
I mean, yeah, we have in Coyote and Crow they have hover vehicles and things and
Oh, yeah.
magic. So yes, they have better tech
Uh-huh.
than we have now.
Heck yes. Anyway, also the light gets weird down there. It's good
Oh, yeah.
times.
Fortunately, your skimmers have light projectors so that you can actually like have enough light to see when you get further down.
All of the red length of lights, they don't, they get really, they
Really
get
worked.
affected first. Yeah, so everything goes blue-gray, blue, like greens, as the further down you get. There's a term for this.
Blue shifting.
Yeah. As you descend down, everyone can go ahead and roll me investigation.
Woo.
Investigate the whistles.
Holy crap. 6 successes.
7.
3.
One.
There you go.
I'll spend a point of mine to make that a 12 and roll it again. Two successes.
All right, so Tala and Zin with 1 and 2 successes. The pair of you, as you sort of look around, the environment here has definitely seen a level of disturbance that is still marked on the plant life around here. You can see areas where, like, normally underwater plants just sort of grow in directions that are appropriate to them. Like hanging algae will just sort of float straight up, and stuff like that. There are definitely points here where you can tell a large foreign object crashed through, because you can see where there are points where the plant life has been impacted by something moving precipitously through their environment.
Oh,
As you sort of look around
looks
with
like we
3
got a trail to follow.
successes. With 3 successes from Moya, you can, as you get further down, you can kind of identify. There is a significant presence of microscopic metallic debris. Not like literally microscopic; it's very, very small. You can you see there are occasionally points where the water gleams, because something metallic is reflecting halfway buried in the sand. With 6 and 7 successes from Tawasikik and Nadi, including a critical success from Tawasikik. The pair of you, and you sort of look around, you see the presence of forceful adjustment to plant life. You see the gleaming of metal. You also make out there is a very clear point where you can see the disturbance of more solid objects, where something large and heavy came to rest, and things sort of piled up around it until it was removed, and then those things caved in because the object was taken away.
Mhm.
So you find the point that you can surmise the pod had rested at.
Okay.
And also as you sort of like look around, it's difficult to point to any one factor, but there are a number of things about the environment that tell you you suspect there was only one pod here. However, you suspect that a significant amount of the debris of the ship, aside from stasis pods, ended up buried in these sands and likely has not yet been fished up. And you also suspect that not all of it came here naturally on the tide. You get the sense, based on some of the interference, that some of it came here because of something large and active moving through the water.
Like a creature? Or
Yeah,
like
like a creature or another vehicle, something
Like a shark.
that was in control of its own motion rather than just being
Okay.
carried by the tides.
So
Okay.
my brain, while I was listening to that whole explanation, inserted a period in the wrong spot, and I heard, "You also make out." The environment around here has been
Not yet. Okay. That's
Hmm.
well, Liv's pod definitely crashed there.
Right.
And there's all this wreckage. But I think it got moved here from something else. Looking around in the water column.
I'm less looking around. I'm moving down. I want to look closer at it and see if there's any potential indications of whether it's a man-made thing or
The thing that brought this stuff here.
yes.
Go ahead and roll me.
Well, they did say that a lot of the fish that they've been catching had been scarred. This is over the
Mhm.
mind link from Zen. So I imagine that there might have been a lot of collateral damage when
Debris.
the ship exploded.
What did you want rolled?
I'm trying to look at the sheet real quick. 1 second. Roll me.
Tracking?
Yeah, go ahead and roll me tracking.
Okay. I'm gonna spend 3 mind.
Turn those 3 sevens into 8s.
Yep. So that'll give me 4 successes.
With 4 successes, as you look around, the signs of passage that you're seeing that are not what you would assume to have been the passage of the debris and the pod
Right.
are large, but seem natural in a weird way. They don't have the sort of like jagged forcefulness that you expect of a manufactured foreign object being propelled through the water and interacting with things. There's almost this sort of gentle scraping of something large and sturdy, but ultimately organic, moving through an environment.
Okay.
Definitely something big. No, you're not thinking several small things. You're thinking one big thing is partially responsible for what happened here.
So yeah, it's an animal of some kind. Big one. Very big.
I'll explain how the pod
Like-
got here.
Like way big.
Something large enough that the pod could have impacted without killing it. And then it just sort of carried it and some debris this way, maybe?
Maybe.
If it's that big of a creature, looking around, thinking
Yeah.
about can I make any sort of predictive guess as to having that in my brain now? As to where it might have gone, presumably further out. But any sort of sense of what this might be, if it's a predator or if it is a more just a large herbivore. So far, I've heard of whales, I'm assuming, and stuff like that. Guessing, making some guesses.
Being someone that lived along the coast at one point, would I have any idea what this could have been?
So you
size-wise?
can roll me survival if you want.
Okay. A success.
4 successes. I'm going to spend 1 point of mine to turn that 11 to a 12.
Okay.
So 5 successes.
There is, so as the two of you put your heads together and sort of look around and try and surmise what might have done this.
We headbutt each other and break our oxygen masks.
there are a number of things that you put together, and I want both of you to roll me folklore now as well.
Ooh.
Ah, folklore.
That was a knowledge subset, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't have folklore.
One
itself,
success. I have folklore.
but knowledge. A success.
There are stories of particularly large animals. Nothing in particular is coming to mind right now. But like preternaturally, supernaturally huge versions of what would normally be more commonly smaller animals.
Some sort of megalodon.
But between the two of you, you're getting a sense that it probably wasn't anything carnivorous or predatory.
Yeah.
Or at least not largely predatory at the very least. Nothing that like disturbs an ecosystem.
Yeah, they didn't
Because you're
report
still
all their
seeing plenty
fish.
of fish around.
Yeah, they didn't report all their fish missing.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I feel like they would have reported having seen a whale.
But definitely something massive. That was content moving quietly under the ocean without disturbing the surface. And was likely very big, heavy, and tough. Because you are seeing signs of its passage that basically equate to this used to be a large object that was positioned at a high point, and now it has fallen over, which means something larger than it ran into it or brushed against it as it was moving by.
Well, good news. It's not necessarily a predator.
That is very good news,
Yeah, no,
but
It's
but definitely big.
something big. I don't remember. I think there might be stories, but maybe the fishermen would know. The fishers would know. If it swings back around though, if it's got like a pattern that it goes along, we may be able to track that because it's so big to where the rest of this.
Can I see the boat that the fisher folk were going out on?
Yeah, it's on the surface.
Well, let's go ask them. Let's say gesturing
Okay.
towards where the boat is.
Yeah.
Spin that.
Go surface a little ways away from their boat so we don't just surprise the fuck out of them immediately.
Yeah. Find shares of the water.
Wait, isn't that how you all have fun?
No.
I mean,
Yes,
my
but
way
you-
is not for
You
everyone.
want to do it with people who get it, and they're letting us investigate the area they watch over. So that seems rude.
This is all very confusing.
Best not to think about it too hard.
Done.
Oh boy.
All right,
yeah,
so the group of you emerge.
Mm-hmm.
One of the fishermen, one of the specifically, as I look at my names, Shanga, sort of looks over as you all pull up, and she sort of puts her fishing tools to the side. Can I help? What's up?
Yeah, we're seeing signs that something very large swam through here with some of the debris that we're seeing or that we're looking for just sort of carried it with it. Are there any large, not necessarily predatory creatures that you are familiar with coming in and out of the bay? Something like maybe on the size of a whale or along those lines?
Is it approaching the season? As one of as Shanga looks over to Lonwy, and Lonwy kind of like thinks for a minute.
It might
shrugs.
have come out of season because of the debris that we're looking for.
It's possible. Sometimes we should probably be careful fishing at that point. You might. The largest creature that we can think of that would fit that description would be something that you from Cahokia might know as Tonka Makasi.
That ring bells.
Yeah.
If any of you want to roll folklore again, or specifically folklore, biology, or herbalism.
folklore. One again.
What are 3 things that I have no ranks in, Alex?
Nope. Still nothing.
Medicine, music, and performance, Jeremy?
So with a 1, Zin, you're not super familiar with that lore. It doesn't really come up for you. With 2 successes, normally Tala, you recall that name mentioned once or twice as like a place where you can, as like a thing that you can get very, very rare, like plants and other biological materials from. Woya, with 2 successes, including a critical, Tonka Makasi is a literal translation. It like literal translation to English means large turtle.
Oh.
And they are known to be enormous turtles and tortoises. In this case, you're predicting a tortoise because it's in the water. That carry whole ecosystems on their back.
Wait, we might see one of them?
See one of what?
Typically, they'll come into the bay to hibernate for a while.
They're
It's out of season, I think, but if one was pushed here to rest, maybe.
they're a type of sea creature known as a tortoise that they get extremely large and they grow like whole little ecosystems and worlds on their backs. They're fantastic and wonderful. And if we manage to see one, that will be the highlight of this entire trip for me.
Okay, you know you
And
can't adopt it
finding
and
your
take it
friends.
home.
She will say, pausing and looking at Liv.
I appreciate the enthusiasm for nature.
Does it fight extra dimensional clowns? Is my only question. Never not clowning Stephen King for that stupid ass shit.
Only if they come in the form of 3 deadlights.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's funny, Jack just texted me about a Terry Pratchett book, so like cyclical.
There you go.
Fantastic.
I don't know about you, but I always come in the form of 3 deadlights.
So tortoises.
So where would it? Where in the bay would it nest?
They typically will bury themselves into the. When they come here to rest, they'll typically bury themselves in the silt and soil at the bottom of the bay. We try to keep an eye out for their cycles because even an herbivore that large is a dramatic disturbance to the environment when it comes through.
Thank you. And I immediately start delving down to where the
Yeah,
pod was
yeah.
found.
That's the
It didn't
Yeah.
fall off.
Yeah, so you dive back down to where you found the pod.
Yeah.
Where they found the pod, yeah.
Yeah.
And gingerly begin clearing some of the dirt and ground and seeing if I find a shell.
Before you find a shell, you find algae and growing plant matter and piles of material that seem to have been
Zin.
ever so slightly buried under the sand.
I think there's a giant turtle down here.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Waya.
Can someone go back up and ask them if they know how far they range when they leave the bay?
Sure. Swim back up.
Time to
Hello.
question to them.
Yes. Sorry to bother you again. Do you know blank repeat question? Wait for answer.
Lungi will or Lunwi will sort of sign back. We don't usually track them when they leave, but they typically disappear out into the ocean. So a long way away, we would guess.
Got it. Thank you for the information. Dive back down. Relay.
All right. Well,
So it might just go straight out into.
does anyone here speak turtle?
You're never gonna believe this, but no.
Tala just looks at Waya.
Navi, does your
I am
Please.
looking at that right now.
okay?
Before you ask that in character, let me find out the answer.
Yeah. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
I did not put it in my thing, which means I need to open up
The book.
the book. Somebody else can do that for me. Thing work just happened.
What's the ability again?
Raven's call.
Call.
Raven's Call does not appear to provide the ability to communicate with an animal.
But
Does
what if
anybody
it
have
does?
anybody have an ability that could help that?
Not
No.
currently.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess no.
Zin, as you dig a little further and start to look around this area, you do start to see where it looks like there's almost like an impact crater that you sort of dig up in this area where something, you presume the pod, crashed heavily into the surface that you're finding. And as you sort of look around, you can see where some of the plant matter and environment that had built up here is sort of crushed away. There's like the faint chipped surface of something hard and keratinous, like sort of bone-like.
Looks like when
that
the
is sort of
pod
scattered around.
Looks like when the pod landed, it cracked the shell.
Oh.
Is probably why it came here to rest.
Yeah.
Do I know if there's anything that, like, other than just time and letting it heal itself, is there anything that we could do to help heal the damage?
Roll me medicine.
I got some dots on that.
Can I use my? Do I have a kit that might help here?
Would that
I have
fall
I
under
have a-
husbandry for any reason?
Could it be
sort of
first
You
aid?
could also give
Animal
husbandry
care?
if you wanted, yeah.
Yeah,
You
I want to
said
try it.
medicine.
Yeah. Could it be
Medicine or husbandry.
Could it be first aid?
Probably not. Not in the
Okay.
Flicker
No.
case.
I do not have ranks in either of those, so rather than rolling that myself, then we'll pose the question to the rest of the group.
Play it now.
With 2 successes, Woya, the kind of medical treatment that you might be able to do on this thing is not the kind of thing that you can really do underwater. And you suspect that this turtle has probably survived significantly worse than this if it's lived for a long time, and will probably be fine if you just give it time to rest and let its shell.
So it looks bad. It looks bad. But if this thing has gotten to this stage in its life, this big, it's dealt with worse. Honestly, it just needs rest. And any medical attention that I could provide it, I wouldn't be able to do underwater.
I'll just sort of rest my palm on the shell for a minute, just sort of communing, like not actively, just sort of passively communing with it. All right, well, came in from that way, nodding to the trail that we had seen it making through the bay. So no telling how far out the wreckage was. But at least some of it came here on him. Which means the rest, unless the rest landed on similar giant turtles, it's probably still out there. Too heavy to have gone far in the tides. Let's check, now that we know that this one is here, let's just see if we can figure out the perimeter of its shell and just check the whole surface just in case there's anything else significant.
Okay.
And then we can see how much time we've got left on the skimmers and either rest for the evening or head out.
As you all prepare to try and investigate the depths of this ocean and the breadth of this massive turtle, that is where we're going to take our quick break.
All right. Those of you that are watching live, please stay tuned for these commercial messages. And remember, when we take our break, you take your break. So stand up, stretch your legs, move around, do whatever you need to do. And we'll be back in just a few minutes. We're back. A dinosaur story. Or a giant tortoise story.
Hey there, everybody. Sometimes stuff like this happens. A couple of our players are suddenly not feeling very well, and don't think that they'll be able to continue playing the game at the moment. So, due to that, we're going to go ahead and call the game here. We will pick up with the further explanation of the further exploration of this seafloor and the events surrounding this giant tortoise the next time that we reconvene with Coyote and Crow. So I hope you all have a great night, and I hope you all stay safe out there and take care of yourselves.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.